Welcome to my 2026 predictions episode 5. My name is Lissabeta Kalag. I'm your go-to Vedic astrologer, psychic medium, and spiritual advisor. I'm so excited to discuss with you in this video how we're walking into 2026. January 1st is actually the most important day of the new year because it's really helping to set and establish the foundation of energy that we're walking into for 2026. So I really want to go into this with you because the more aware that you are of what's happening, the more easier it is for you to navigate, take advantage of the energies, and transform them into a way that supports you in every way, shape, and form. And so on the day of January 6th, and I'm using Eastern Standard Time, we have Uranus retrograde in Taurus. We have Moon in Rohini. Now, if you don't know about Rohini is all about abundance, it's love, it's prosperity. It's a really positive nakshatra. Moon does really well in Rohini. It's exalted there, so it's beautiful the way we're walking in to 2026 with the Moon in Rohini. And then we have Jupiter retrograde in the second house in Gemini from the Moon. But in the 8th house from the Moon in Sagittarius, we have Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury all in Sagittarius in the 8th house from the Moon. This tells me, and I want to walk you through this, knowing that Rohini is like the womb of the zodiac. It's fertility, it's creation, it's nourishment, it's abundant, it's fertility, it's emotional security, it's community in some way, shape, or form. Uranus is all about awakening the emotional body. It's about awakening your emotional needs, but it's also about breaking in lineage patterns, right? So this, with Uranus there, there might be some kind of emotional shock that's going to wake you up in some way, shape, or form, because here in combination with Uranus, the soul is here to liberate the feminine line. And you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, what is this hocus pocus? Well, if you really want to manifest and create something absolutely amazing for yourself, you need feminine energy in order to do that. Money is feminine energy. Manifestation is feminine energy. Conception includes feminine energy. You need that in order to really create something amazing for yourself. Now, with the Sagittarius stellium, which includes Mars, Sun, Venus, and Mercury, in the 8th house, well, 8th house generally has to do with trauma, inheritance, sexuality, has to do with ancestral karma, right? You don't escape it, but you can transform it. 8th house is a house of transformation, right? It's a death and rebirth. It's a transformation house. And Sagittarius is like, truth is the medicine. Your belief systems, most of them are inherited through your bloodline. It also means that because all these planets are in the 8th house, it means that it's time to confront these inherited belief systems that you have in your bloodline. So there's this karmic energy forcing us to, a karmic mandate forcing us to expose, teach, to liberate us, right? So Sun is like our identity forged through crisis, loss, taboo experiences. Mars is like, intense sexual energy, rage that's stored in the body, warrior level, survival instincts. Venus, it's karmic relationships that are tied to money, to sex, to power, where love doesn't really feel casual in this situation. And then you have Mercury, which is a mind that speaks to what others fear. It's excellent in occult knowledge, it's excellent in occult sciences, it's excellent in therapy, it's excellent in teaching, it's excellent in prophecy, but the stellium here is saying, hey, I came to burn ancestral contracts and tell the truth that no one else in the world is going to do for you. So this is really huge because when you're putting it together, we have the womb, the trauma, we have the awakening via astrology. So we're looking at a lot of generational patterns that are tied to fertility, sexuality, survival, belief systems that are embedded in your DNA. Now, if you watched my previous episodes for 2026 predictions, And you are going to have to watch, I believe it's either the first or second one that's going to help really to, bring this together. If you haven't already watched, if you already watched it, then what I'm saying to you in this episode makes a lot more sense to you, because this combination in the chart, I mean, this is about healing, trauma, healing sex wounds, healing, ancestral wounds. It's about clearing all these things, and it's so important because you cannot really progress in life unless you address these karmic ancestral wounds. You have to clear them. And here it also opens up the idea that a lot of these, breaking lineage curses really are tied to motherhood, money, or sexuality. They're tied to the mother because our moms give birth to us. We get our blood through the mother. Our mother's holding us, right, in the womb. So we are learning how to transform this energy, because you cannot, you can neither, create or destroy energy. You could only transform energy. So now it gets a little bit deeper, because we have Jupiter in Gemini. And Jupiter, could sometimes be a little uncomfortable in Gemini, but it could be very powerful in the same way, because there's a lot of expansion happening through asking questions, right? There's more of an open dialogue, when Jupiter is in Gemini, but it's retrograde in Gemini. So there's a lot of things that we need to revisit here. So we're learning through contrast, we're learning through paradox, we're learning through dialogue. Okay, and so Jupiter wants to have this conversation, collect this data, share stories, share perspectives, teach through curiosity, not through doctrine. And it's so important to understand, because Sagittarius is saying, like, for instance, there is one truth, and I will live, fight, love, and die by it. But Jupiter in Gemini is saying, no, there are many truths. There are many sides to one story. You have to prove it. You need to say it differently. You need to talk about it. We need to have this discussion now. So there's a lot of inner tension, where it's like where you think something has been certain versus, curious mind. So there's a lot of speaking declaration, versus expanding by questioning everything you thought you knew. And so when you understand what the universe is doing for us, and you couple that with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction that's going to happen in Pisces in February, then you know that the universe is trying to and doing its job to support you for major transformation in the inside and outside. Right? Because if you really want to transform your life, you need to do clearing. And a lot of the problems that we experience in our lives stem from belief systems and experiences that have been embedded in the DNA, which is tied to ancestors, right? So a lot of us, the way we look, the way we feel, the things that we do, our skills, really tied to our ancestors. But the quote unquote curses and the bad luck, and things that are detriment, in our lives that happen to us also stem from our ancestors. So there's a really big, important transformation that's taking place literally the day of New Year's Day. And think about January 1st. What is that? January 1st. So you have a 1 month, a 1 day, a 1 year. You add that all up together and you have a 3, which is creation. So the universe is helping us to create a new story. And every experience that we have gets embedded in our DNA. And then when we have children, that gets stored in their DNA. Our stories get stored in their DNA. So it's not just, right? What we are doing is not just for ourselves and for our ancestors, because we're clearing some of their pain, but we have a responsibility to our children, our children's children, and to as far as 12 generations or ahead of us, our 12 generations of descendants, Okay, so a lot of people think, like it doesn't matter what happened, 2, 3 generations ago, 7 generations ago. I go back 12 generations, and when you go back 12 generations, we're talking about like between 300 to 350 years prior to when we were born. We have collected that amount of stories and experiences that have been embedded in our DNA, and it will continue from generation to generation until you make the change. And so you have the opportunity to start something really amazing literally at the day of January 1st 2026. But that all starts by questioning things, by being curious, and not just accepting the storyline, changing that storyline. So if you want to change your storyline, you want to learn more, book an intuitive coaching session or a Vedic astrology session with me, and we will deep dive into it. You could even do a tarot session with me and we could deep dive into it, but we have to, just let me know that that's what you're looking to do, so this way I could cater the consultation around that. But you have the ability to do that starting January 1st. So the beauty is the universe is supporting us, God is supporting us, divine creator is supporting us, your angels, your guides are supporting you. So you could really make 2026 into an absolutely transformative, brilliant year that's going to change everything, change the entire future. So let me know what you think about this, if it resonates with you. And don't forget, I still have 30% off of your entire purchase on AstroDevi.com. Use code XMAS25, which is Christmas 25. That's a promo code at checkout. All right, you guys, I'll see you all in the next video.